We're going to build a movie quiz app today using Bolt.new and then also Supabase, Firecrawl, Netlify, and Vercel. And this is kind of cool because we're going to show it across the board with all these different apps to make this and do it in record speed time. So the idea for this movie quiz is that you're presented with a line from a movie like I'll Be Back, and you've got to figure out what movie that came from. In this case, it's The Terminator. And again, we're going to use these apps to do this. And so let's get started. So first things first, let's get to the UI and kind of what we want this to kind of look like. So if I come up here and I'm using Vercel here, I want to create a movie quote quiz with an iPhone layout that shows a quote from a movie at the top, like if you build it, they will come. And then 4 card choices that would be images from the movie poster that you can choose on to correctly associate the movie with with the line from the movie to the movie itself. So if you build it, he will come is obviously Field of Dreams. If I click on that, you can see what happens there. Very simple. So this is what I kind of want to build. So the next step will be to basically let's put together a prompt and throw it into Bolt, and let's get this party started. All right. Okay, so I've got my Notes app, and I created the prompt in here so I can edit it easily. So basically, you can create this clean movie quote app that's an iPhone layout that shows a quote from a movie, as we just talked about a little bit. And then 4 card choices, as we showed. 3 wrong, 1 correct. The object to see how many correct guesses you can make. And I gave it a color palette to use for the background and highlights and such. And then I want to build this game where players are presented with quotes from movies and have to guess the movie that the quote is from. We already kind of went through this, blah, blah, blah. And then we will use data from TMDB for the movie poster images and titles, and movie quote GitHub repo for this movie quote project that will produce the quotes for the movie. And then obviously let me know if you need any help or API key for me to do this. So let's see how it works. And let's throw this quote in Bolt and let her rip. Okay. All right. So now we've got Bolt. Let's put that prompt in, and then this is live, man. So we're just gonna let it rip and see what happens. I have no idea what we're gonna get, but let's see what Bolt comes up with. So think away. What's really great is it cranks out all the folders and the structures and everything, and just starts programming. And this just blows me away every single time, because this would have taken me months to do if I was doing it for real. I mean, not real, but literally programming it. So obviously it's going to need some keys, but I think what it's going to do is put in some dummy data for the moment. And then it tells me what it's done, and now it's building it, and it's going to launch it in this window so I can see what the initial app is going to look like. Oh, there's a problem. So let's see what that is. The reference process now. Let's try to fix that. Bolt's pretty good at fixing stuff, and it's gotten better literally over the past 2 months that I've been using it. All right, so there you go. So let's see what we got here. So we got a line from a movie, but you can't really do anything with it yet. So again, there's another problem here. Let's see, it's having a problem fetching data. Let's attempt to fix that. Let's see if Bolt can figure out what is going on to get this working. Again, it's usually pretty good. It absolutely figures this stuff out. And as I said, it's getting better every day. More problems. Let's see what it says. The API is not configured. So I got to go back and do that. So let me go get the API stuff, and I'll throw it in an env file, and then come back and let her go again and see if that fixes it. So I'm going to try to paste this API key into an .env file, but as I look over here, I don't really see a specific file that is .env, and I'm not a programmer, so I'm going to ask it, where is the .env file? So it created that for me, which is awesome, and I still have the same issue. So if I now go to my code and I go to the env, I'm just going to put in my API key here that I got from the movie database, and then save that. And then let's try to fix these. That should be fixed now because now I've got the env file in there and the app should build correctly. But let's see. It's cooking. Fix the error. All right, cool. So now I've pretty much got a fully functioning app, which is really insane. So may the force be with you. What do you think it is? Star Wars, yeah. I'll be back. Terminator. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. I don't know that one. Godfather? Yeah. May the force be with you. Star Wars. So obviously, this is just a starting point, but you've got a fully functioning app just based on doing that. So now, what I want to do is I want to kind of improve upon this. I want to do things like add levels. I want to add authentication. I want to add sharing so that we can make this easily viral so that people can share their scores and get other people to play it. So let's do that, and I'll be back in a sec. So we've got a bunch of movies in here based on the original run of this thing, and it's pulling these quotes in this JSON from, I presume, the movie database. But what I'd like to have more of these. I'd like to see if I can get like 50 movies in here. Maybe ultimately it's going to be like 100 or something like that. But let's just ask Bolt, see if it can get some more movies. So let's say get more. Let's say get 50 films for the data.ts. So let's see if this will do this. I don't know if it will. We'll have to see. Let's run it. See what happens. Yeah, so there you go. It's pretty amazing. I mean, what I had done previously was I had gone to ChatGPT and basically asked it for a bunch of movie lines and quotes and URLs to the movie poster and that sort of thing, and it produced it all, but it wasn't complete. This does a really good job. So now I've got literally 50 flicks in here that I can use for this, and I'm going to make it better. But I wanted to kind of do that part too because it rounds it out. It gives it a lot more data and a lot more options and makes it like a fuller game. So let's continue this and see what's next. So as this thing goes, as I'm doing it, I come up with additional ideas to make it more interesting in real time. And then in real time, I can add those ideas and test them and see if they work. And if they do, I can leave them. If they don't, I don't have to keep them. Or if it just doesn't work, I don't have to keep them. So what I want to do now is I want to add a timer to this so that the user or the player's got 30 seconds to guess as many possible movies as they can. And that ultimately is going to be the score and the levels and that sort of thing. So I basically add a countdown timer to see how many movies the player can guess in 30 seconds. The timer clock should be at the top of the app. So let's see what this gives us. So it'll crank through, come up with some stuff. The other thing that's interesting is I have to type that stuff into that prompt box. I think over the next year, that typing bit is going to go away, and it's just going to be me talking to this like I'm talking now, and it's going to speed this process up even more. All right, so there we go. That's all the cool stuff it did. There's a clock at the top, 27 seconds, so I can start pushing these things. I don't know, do you think this should be bigger? I think it should be bigger and it should be centered. The clock timer should be... Let's see what that does. You know, obviously I'm burning through tokens as I do this, but man, I can't help myself. It's just, it's too cool. It's too cool. It's totally worth it. Because previously, you know, I come up with an idea like this, it would take months to program all this stuff and try this stuff out, or, you know, maybe not months, but definitely a long time. All right, let's see what it does here. Yeah, that's way better. So you talking to me, taxi driver, you have me at hello, Jerry Maguire. I'll be back, Terminator, ET, phone home. That's kind of an easy one. I feel the need. Oh, that's definitely Maverick. Oh, Jerry. We certainly think that. And then that one's easy because it says hasta la vista, Terminator. I'm walking here. Oh, time up. Final score 8. I guessed 8 in 30 seconds. All right, that's pretty good, but you know, I could do better. I could definitely do better. But let's see what's next here. All right, let's add authorization and a sign in flow to this. So we're going to use Supabase as our database and authentication. So what I'm going to do is come over here. I'm going to paste in a prompt to do this. What would be cool actually is if I could kind of save this prompt as like a little module thing, because for every project you do, I've got to create an auth and a user sign up, sign in kind of thing. But it would be great to be able to just click this and have it do it every time. As I do it now, it kind of run into little quickie quirks and things. But let's see what we can do this easily here. So I'm just going to run this, and it's going to go through, and it's going to ask me to probably, I got to add a Supabase authentication here, and it's probably going to create a new database, which is cool, and then probably ask me for some info or some buttons I got to click to do that. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it added authentication. Let's see, the auth for new sign up. It should present me with that sign up flow here. Oh, I got to connect to Supabase. Let's see what this problem is here. Yeah, I got to add. Let's see if I can fix this because it needs some other stuff for the database. Yeah, so I got to connect to that up here, and then I follow the instructions. Super easy. Confirm database creation. Yes, I want to do that. And that's going to create that in Supabase. Let me just let it run through these things, then I'll examine whatever this problem is, but it's got to finish up this stuff. I think it got a little bit ahead of itself. All right, so now I've got this, which is fantastic. Welcome back. Sign in to continue playing. I haven't signed up yet, but let's look at the Supabase thing and see what it has in there. So I can look at the table. Let's look at authentication and see if nope, there's nobody authenticated yet. So let's go back to Bolt and let's sign up. So my email. So I can sign up. Okay, cool. It lets me in, it puts my name here, and I can start playing with 30 seconds. So that seemed to do a really fantastic job. I'm going to clear this because so the database wasn't there because it got ahead of itself. So I'm just going to clear that. And now we've got auth in here, which is fantastic. And we can go ahead and play the game in 30 seconds. All right, so we've got this working, which is fantastic. But now, since it's a game, I mean, I want to have the ability to have a leaderboard so that we can play against other people. So what I'm going to do is how I want it to work is it's going to be based on how many movies you can guess in the 30 seconds. So I'm just going to paste in my prompt, create a leaderboard based on how quickly players are able to guess all the movies. So let's see what it can do based on that. And hopefully it revs that up. Okay, so it completed that. Now I've got to create a high score or a score table in the database. So I'm just going to do that with this Supabase migration. So apply those changes. It's going to do some magic in Bolt that hooks up and does what it needs to do in the database. And then migrations have been applied. Well, it seems I lost my beautiful picture, so I'll have to come back and start that again later. So now I don't see the leaderboard per se, but if I Need to figure out where that is. Oh, top players leaderboard's at the bottom. So I don't want the leaderboard at the bottom. What I want to do is I want to have a drop down menu that has create a drop down menu with leaderboard, log out, and let's just do that for now. So I'm going to create a drop-down menu in the nav bar with leaderboard log out. Let's see if let's do that real quickly just to kind of clean this thing up a little bit. Oh, I know what I got to do. I got to create I want to create a modal for the leaderboard. Maybe it's smart enough to do that. Let's see if it does that by itself. All right, so completed that. Let's go see what it does to this. If I go over to the drop down leaderboard, yeah, so it pops it up. It doesn't have any data in it at the moment because nobody's played it. But if I go ahead and play that Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying, Shawshank, that'll do Pig. I'm gonna guess Babe, Sherlock Holmes, Wizard of Oz. Ooh, with great. Oh, it's that Spider-Man. This is great. Rose, we don't need any of the. Okay, so not so great. 5 movies in 30 seconds. that's not fantastic. But let's go play again. Let's see if it got that for the leaderboard. No, sorry, it's not doing the scoring. So let's see why. Not seeing scores updated to leaderboard. See, if I could just talk, this would be way faster than typing. So sometimes when this happens, it has to do with the keys in the profile or the user table, the auth user table, talking to the table for the scores. So I don't know. Let's see if it can figure that out. All right, let's add sharing capabilities to this so that it has a little bit of virality to it, so that when people finish the game, they can share their score, have a link to get the game, and have other people then be able to join it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put in my prompt and basically share this, add it to the drop down, use the share sheets that are kind of available, and if it's a web-based thing, use a copy to copy the contact or the text from the share, and then obviously add the link. This is not the link. I don't have a link for it yet, but we'll just go with what it has for the moment. So let's run that and see if it can kind of put that together and see what it comes up with for the sharing and the message. So that ran, and let's see what it did, because it did create a sharing. Let's see what that looks like. So where's my share? I don't know where that is. So let's go back and see where that is. Okay, so we're kind of going through to see if we can add a sharing feature to this. Right now I run it and it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do, except I can't see what is being shared on a desktop because it doesn't have the share screen that iOS and Android do. So if I go here and I look at share score, it'll copy it to the clipboard, but what I want to see it first. So let's just add that in here. So if on desktop, laptop, show the share message in a modal and add a button to copy. So let's see if that will work. I think it will. All right, it's got to build everything again. I think I saw something where it doesn't need to build everything. It'll just take the differences and build those. I haven't figured what that is, or maybe I just imagine that, but it seems to me that would be a smarter way of not having to render everything put everything out every single time from a token standpoint, but I do not know. All right, let's see. Share score. Nope, it's still just copying it. So let me come back to this and we can examine it in a second. So I modified the share score modal thing to pop and show in a browser. The issue was the Z index, so it was behind all of this stuff. So I've fixed that. I'm just letting it continue to update here. And then once that is updated, I'm going to show you the modal. Actually, I probably can show you the modal from here. So obviously 0 score points, and I can copy that to the clipboard and paste it into a message. If I was on a device, it'll just use the device share screen, and then I can share from there. So that's pretty cool. Now we've got a little bit of virality to it. Let's think about what else we can do with this. Very cool. Oh, you know what? Let's go and add the info for the screen icon so that we can save this to our screen on our phone and have an icon for it. All right, so let me get that and I'll be right back. So I've added the iOS and Android app icons to the app using this link that's going to pull that in. So let me run that, and that will enable me to have that. The other thing I'm going to add is the open graph image, but I still have to make that. The graph, the icon is going to look like this for the app icon, and then I'll come back and do an open graph one later. So I've updated the leaderboard and changed it around a little bit. It was trying to update every single score every time there was a score in, and I waited until the end and then just wrote the score to the database. It made things simpler, and now it works well. So if I show you here, if I go to leaderboard, you can see that I'm the only player, and I've got 6 points there. So that's cool. That's now showing. The other thing I want to do is I want to I want to add an indicator to when I click on an answer that tells me whether I'm right or wrong. So let's do that, and I'll put that in here. So I've added down here an indicator on guesses to indicate whether the guess is correct or not, and this is going to just provide some additional feedback to the user when they're playing the game. So let's build that and see what that looks like. All right, so that built, let's see what it does. So now basically when I click on something, I should see an indicator whether I'm right or wrong. So my precious Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I get a little check mark. With great power comes great responsibility. I know it's Spider-Man, but let's see if we get it actually. Oh, yep, wrong. Cool. All right, so that's fun. That's a little indicator. So the really wonderful thing about this, or I don't know, it's wonderful, it's just cool, is that you can add little tweaks really quickly as you're going. It's literally as fast as you can think you can build this stuff. So it's really phenomenal. And this is really just a simple little game. And you can add additional things. You can, set it up for more complicated play, however you kind of think you want to do it. But this is, a one-time examination of how you can use Bolt, Supabase, Firecrawl, these APIs that are out there to get data into the app and create little apps that are really fun and basically primers for doing stuff that's bigger and more complicated. But I'm really excited about this, and this will be the first, hopefully, of a number of these things. So we'll just keep it going and see what we can do. Cheers.